Obviously competed in that same era and pushed the great Lee Haney in 1990, I believe it was, all the way to the final round. A lot of people thought you actually could have won that show. Your thoughts on the 1990 Olympia, and do you believe to this day you should have won that show, or did Lee eke you out?
That is the riddle of the Sphinx. But that was settled by the judges, and Lee Haney was the rightful winner that night. And it was just an honor to be able to compete with him and with Rich and Sean and all of these guys up here. You know, I always marched to the tune of my own drummer, and the whole idea for me was always to be the best that I could be, and to show myself in the best shape that I could show myself in. And so it really came down to a matter of the style of the physique that the judges wanted to go in the direction of, and set, you know, whether bodybuilding was ready for a change to go in a different direction or not. You know, and as the case was, Lee triumphed that night and became the greatest Mr. Olympia of the 80s.
No question about that. Well, Lee, you had some great battles yourself through many years, and again, a different era of physique. You know, a little bit more attention to detail, a little bit more attention to symmetry and proportion and shape. Is that something missing from today's bodybuilding, in your opinion?
You know, the direction that the sport has taken out is definitely one that I would not have chosen myself. You know, while having massively developed muscles is part of our sport, where you have to draw the line is where the human physique loses its aesthetic appeal and becomes something amorphous. You know, something that's no longer pleasing to the eye. And so I think that while it's great to chase extremes, at some point you lose sight of all of the other factors that make up a great physique. And symmetry and proportion are one of those. I think that that is something that we're losing sight of. That's something that we have, you know, that we have lost. I believe that the emphasis today is mass at all costs, and mass as the only determining factor, mass plus freaky definition. But the symmetry and proportion that you saw in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and even in the early 90s, you know, has really become a thing of the past. I'm hopeful with some of the new athletes in the direction that things are taking. You know, I think that Phil Heath has a very nice, small, tight waist and good symmetrical physique. You know, I'm enthused by seeing Sean Roden, I believe it is. Yeah, you know, so there's definitely a good new vibe that's entering it. You know, I'm hopeful.
All right, well, Lee Labrada will be doing the color commentary.